Good morning and welcome back to London on day 2 of the GG Ice Bet Challenge. It's going to be an interesting day. It's our last day of group stages as we speak. 8 teams. We'll limit this down, and we've got our upper and lower bracket, our matches that were decided based on yesterday's results. And I think if you looked through the bracket, I think you would be pretty, satisfied with the results. Nothing really stood out to me as an upset. I guess Na'Vi going 3 maps as opposed to just winning that one out cleanly as a 2-0 fashion over Godsent. Maybe that's a bit of a surprise. You also had mousesports 2-0ing Mad Lions. I think that was expected. But yeah, I think it was pretty straightforward.
I think so too. I think Mad Lions, despite getting 2-0'd yesterday, they showed some character against mousesports. They pushed them all the way on map 1 and really gave them a fight for it. Whereas for Virtus.pro taking down Heroic yesterday, 2-0 in the fashion they did, I think there was a, it was good to see Virtus.pro once again finding some footing. They looked much better yesterday. We talked about James having an impact as well, but Heroic a little bit disappointing in their display, losing 2-0 to a team like Virtus.pro, losing on your own map pick. When you are a team that is fighting to get into that top 15 spot, simple as it is, not good enough.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that, and OG, you're right. That one's kind of the other game that could have gone either way. That's why I say nothing stood out to me on the page. Sure. And we know OG's got a ton of firepower. They have Alexi B with them, which interestingly enough, that was the first time he played against his former team. So he gets first blood, I suppose you could say, and that what I'm sure we'll continue to push as a bit of a rivalry, considering the circumstances of his departure and Sonny coming into the Ents lineup to replace him. So, yeah, I'll cut it there. And that's going to be a great test for OG to go up against Na'Vi right away. We know Na'Vi also, just to put, a finer point on that, you're right. They're a team fighting for the top 15. They want to be more convincing, but they do always start slow in events.
Sure.
So maybe nothing to get too worried about as we look into today's matchup. We see Virtus.pro again. These guys yesterday, a bit slow on the first map, but pretty convincing when we got to Vertigo for map number 2.
Yeah, they got the job done, and that's all that matters in a situation like this. They won the game, and I think, as I said, we got to see James play well again. He had a very poor showing in Leipzig, the first tournament of the year, but yesterday he was playing good. He had a lot of impact with the AWP, and then we saw Kickert. To my understanding, he was the most important player, especially on that second map on Overpass, on Vertigo. He was the one really shutting it down for Heroic and making sure that Virtus.pro would move on into this game.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Kickert was solid. Buster had finally the flank that they think that they needed for a while.
Yeah.
Heroic was playing a very different Vertigo than what we're used to seeing, the aggression toward ramp. They were being very passive. They were kind of letting Virtus.pro get bomb plants time and time again, and then actually retaking the site by way of using a smoke screen. Nades, Adren, we saw him fake plant the bomb a number of times to try and bait those out. So there was some adaptation from Virtus.pro, which I did like to see. It was their map choice when we were on Vertigo. So it was good, because we know that's something that, like I said yesterday, they find ways to lose. They struggle to close games at times, and I think that can be a bit of a problem that they need to address. So it's good to see them improve as well off of Summit. As I said as well, you put some expectations on yourself when you make a major final, so they've got to deliver, and we'll see if they can. They've got a great test today as well, and a team known as mousesports.
That's the thing, right? The beast they're going up against today, that's going to be mousesports. That's a much better team than Heroic yesterday. So if Virtus.pro want to have any chance of winning today, they need to step it up big time. You got the 5 players on your screen right here: Voxic, Frozen, Chris J, Kerrigan, and Rups. There's a few players you can point out as being the star players of this lineup, but I think the sentiment of mousesports as of right now is that they are a unit that works well together. Obviously, the firepower and Rups, that's always good to have. Voxic, the star AWP plays, really starting to find some footing within this lineup. You have Frozen, the young rifle.
He played so well yesterday, Voxic, that they didn't even give him a rating.
They didn't even give him a rating. That's how easy it was for him. And then if you're looking at the lineup and you think to yourself, all right, the weak link of this lineup is supposed to be this guy, Chris J, which by no means is a weak link. He's one of the best performing players within that lineup as well. So it's such a strong and cohesive lineup.
I touched on yesterday about how more and more teams, you brought up Ents bringing in Sonny to add firepower, and I mentioned how everyone would make their dream team made of 5-star fraggers, but it doesn't always work that way. No. Chris is a prime example of someone that you want on your team. Yeah. Yes, he's supposed to be the weakest link. Let's put it on bluntly. He had what many people, if Happy's Deagle Ace didn't take the award, was the play of the decade with the 1v5. Mirage, it wasn't really a 1v5. It was a 2v5, but the ace on Mirage, the ESL won New York 2018. And he's a player that's adapted so much. He's gone from a rifling role as far back as 2015 onto the op, back to a secondary op, great with a scout, had an MP7 era, if you want to call it that, or a time in which he was very powerful with that weapon. So he's a team player. He's able to be a cornerstone, and he has been the cornerstone for that mousesports franchise. He's been through just about every team. He's been removed from just about every team and then added straight back because they realized that he fits the roles so well. As we get into our picks and bans, Vertigo is going to be the first up. So yesterday's success from Virtus.pro is encouraged them to bring it out into the map pick, and then we follow that up with the train.
It's a ballsy map pick, I feel, for Virtus.pro, because we did see yesterday they struggled a bit against Heroic. It was down to Kickert getting a lot of entry facts in the later stages of that game that secured them the win. And we have seen mousesports play Vertigo at a very high level. So Virtus.pro, that have to show us something more than they did yesterday if they want to have a chance of winning that one, despite it being their own map pick. Train coming in for mousesports, that's the go-to pick for them. They are so strong at it. Dare I say they may be the best team in the world on Train right now, at least up for the conversation. So that's a strong one for them. Dust 2 as the decider. Again, a map that we love to see Voxic play on, a map that we love to see James play on. So we could have a nice little AWP duel should it go all the way to 3 maps.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, actually. I'd like to see James. Yesterday he did play very well, and he was efficient. There was a period of time, I think, specifically on Overpass and a little bit on Vertigo, where he wasn't involved in the early rounds. And then that took almost a flip of a switch on Vertigo, and there was a round where he jumped down the B stairs and played out the dumpster, which was almost too aggressive. But we've seen it all from him, and I think that, yeah, this could be a lot of fun to watch between the two teams. Knifing for sides. We are doing that again. This is a bit of a brawl. 1-on-1, 100 HP. Oh, they're going to just go for the right. Okay, fair play. Voxic dips down and gets the kneecap. Used to be an adventurer like, yes, memes. So
we get to see mousesports, I guess, start on that CT side. As we walk over the stats here for the players, we saw Adrian, again, as you said, he didn't really have an impactful game in sense of him killing a lot yesterday, but he was adaptive in the way he played. He made sure that he couldn't, be successful with the whole double nading side whenever he planted the bomb and stuff. So he's turning into more of a, dare I say, supportive element for this lineup, which is kind of wild to think about when he used to be one of the best players in the world only 3 years ago. So that's always a strong stone to have within Virtus.pro as well. Sanji, we need to see more from him. I think that's another rifle within this lineup that can do more. Whereas for mousesports, we talked about it yesterday. The players in this lineup, they are all so strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're getting to that point now in Counter-Strike, and that's why the team game comes into it. I mean, yes, okay, you have the standout players, guys like Zywoo, like Simple. Cold Zero is very efficient when he's on his game. Nico can be a game changer. He's kind of struggled to find that form for a long period of time. It's starting to come back, but the point being is that the bottom guys aren't that far off.
Yeah.
They just don't have that breakout every now and then. So if you just take fraggers, it's not like you're differentiating that much. So yeah, team play is everything. I think Astralis has put a fine point on that in the recent years.
I think that's a fair sentiment to make, that it goes a long way to have team play, and that's what I've been saying the entire time. If you have an average team of fraggers, but you have the excellent team play, you can definitely be a team that can contend with the top teams.
And I guess that's kind of exactly what I was getting at. Is you've got so much depth in the game now. You've got to have something more than just kills. So it's going to be a bit of a B bias for the CTs off the start, trying to hold out to the ramp. Watch for a fast rotation, perhaps, to try and get back over to the A site. No kits, I want to make that clear, because Rops and Kerrigan have not even invested into this round, if the HUD's to be believed. $800 on each of them. No armor, no nades. They're trying to play the long game on this. Maybe get an aggressive force buy in the second round, because that might be required at this point in time. We know Virtus.pro has gotten numerous bomb plants on this map yesterday, and it was the A site late. They started by hitting B, but this time they'll go straight back to where it worked out later for them. As Chris gets toward the red box and tries to see towards scaffolding. Ooh. Good play from Voxic. This is the flank I was talking about. From B, they went aggressive, but he overlooks the fact that 3 players were over toward the boosted position. He looked at sandbags and found out that was the wrong way to fire, as Rops gets the kill back. As we said, no kits, no time. He'll have 1,400 before the bomb detonates, 33, 27 for Kerrigan. They might be able to do something with that.
Yeah, and by the looks of mousesports' faces right here, it's them winning the pistol round. I think they have a clear plan of what they wanted to do with Kerrigan saving up here, but we'll have to see. Maybe the HUD was lying to us. Have a decent amount of money here. Kerrigan buying up a Deagle, so does Rups.
Yeah, I don't mean to throw the HUD under the bus. Sometimes when you're
exactly,
it does fail to update. Yeah. There's been glitches in custom HUDs before, so I just wanted to be clear.
It's a bit of a weird buy, though. It's a force buy, but they don't invest everything into it, right? So they're putting on a lot of pressure on the economy of mousesports, but it's not like they're forcing up. Rups is still with $1,000 in the bank. Chris J with 900. He's probably saving up for that AWP should they fail to win this one. But it's good to see them being very cautious about the money. There's definitely a plan behind this, so something they've been trying to figure out whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. As we see Kickert in the position we saw him in so many times yesterday against Heroic, moving up towards this A side. The A ramp, that was his playground yesterday. Seems like Adrian has a clear idea that Voxic may be hiding in behind this wall. Don't think he knows for sure, but if Voxic hits the right timing here, could be a great flank coming in from the young AWP player from mousesports. Again, a slow approach by Virtus.pro. Not really sure what to expect here. Are we facing a force buy? Are we facing just Deagles? we're not sure about it, so we'll take it slow.
The MP9 is an interesting selection for Voxic, the man who flanked last time. Frozen's going to get aggressive. They were caught off by it, an awkward and sloppy exchange. Adren gets the trade, but Chris does one better to find Sanji. This is Voxic again. This is the MP9. He's done it twice. And this time they've all got their backs turned. Oh, no, they didn't, but it doesn't matter. He finds Adren, who would have seen him in the peripheral, and then he closes out on all three. It's the MP9 with a massive amount of damage. Upgrades immediately, if I'm not mistaken, to a Krieg, and he has $5,200 still in his wallet.
At that point, you know, if you're a mousesports fan or if you're a mousesports yourself, you're pretty much happy that you lost the pistol round, right? Because you put Virtus.pro in such a bad position now. The money's not looking good. The odds, though, are looking quite favorable towards mousesports.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily say they're big favorites, you know, just judging by the odds. But if I'm a mousesports fan, I'd definitely put my money right there, considering that mousesports is a team that, as of late, have been playing at a very high level. Gotta respect that. It's a team that has established themselves as a top 5 team in the world, and I don't think anyone could have expected that coming into this project only 3 or 4 months ago. They had such a strong ending to 2019. We saw them in Pro League, obviously, take down Astralis in that semi-final. We saw them win tournaments. We've seen them play well. Even won a tournament in Los Angeles, I believe that was the Summit, where they had to play with a coach in the final. Somehow managed to win regardless. So it's a team that's been through a lot.
A coach and a stand-in.
A coach and a stand-in. It was ridiculous, actually.
Yeah, it is.
If you're G2, you're not feeling happy about that one. Probably try to forget it, but let me remind you, you did lose to mousesports with a coach and a stand-in, and it tells a lot about mousesports, I feel. It's a team that really believes in their own abilities, despite, you know, things not always going their way.
So Kerrigan holds the angle toward the crane, not a headshot angle, as he finds out they can get above that. And he's not able to collect. Went for the spray, could have probably tapped away the body at that point in time, but Frozen. He's got the off angle toward the scaffolding, and he'll get James, which drops the bomb onto the ground. Dren still has the deagle. Actually, take that back. He's got a Galil as well. To be more inclusive to the situation, he's going to try and work his way in, but a headshot position from Frozen. 2-1 for mousesports. And they keep 3 alive. They keep 2 Kriegs. Good start so far.
Super good start, and still, if you look towards Virtus.pro, the money is not in a great place. They could buy a few deagles, they could upgrade a few pistols, but there's not enough money for the SGs. There's not enough money for the AK-47, so we're most likely going to see another round where they'll try to rely on the individual skill, rely on the deagles. You can see there's a few being brought up. Kickert has one in the hand. Sanji is just staying with the Glock, so does Adrian. So around that should go the way of mousesports. Maybe Rob's going to have a good time right here. There's going to be a lot of action going his way. Falls back, gets caught off guard, and gets Glock down by James. Not optimal. Voxic is here to help him out, though. Gets a refrag and falls back. So they lose control over this B bomb site, and there we go. Christier takes it instantly back. That's nice, aggressive for mousesports. They don't want to give anything up for Virtus.pro. Not even a bomb plan in this situation. Christier finds Sanji as well, and while you thought there was a bit of an opening for Virtus.pro, it instantly got shut down. Chris J, Voxic combining for a few frags, and it's left up to Buster with a P250. As you said, he found some impact yesterday against Heroic as well, but believing he can win a 1 versus 4 just with a P250. No armor. That's not looking likely. Voxic takes him down, and we're off to a perfect start for mousesports. Virtus.pro, though, have to invest into their first real buy round. The one they had previously in this game, they lost to an anti-eco, so they'll have to think twice about that. Probably we're going to see James on the AWP as well. It's going to be great. He needs to find impact straight away. Vertigo, T-side, it's a tough map to play the AWP, but if you're James, you got to get inside the game. You got to give it to Voxic straight away.
Kickerts. Bottom of the ramp's going to get boosted. They're anticipating the smoke to be thrown. Not sure he spotted the head of Kerrigan. I don't know that it was visible or not. X-ray is very misleading at times when you are just skimming the edge of a wall. Frozen has the other side of the approach covered off. And this is more traditional of what we're used to seeing from the CTs. Getting a little more aggressive to cover off these choke points at A. And excuse me, not quite like that. Because utility has consequence if Kerrigan's not ready to fight back. The reason I bring that up is because it's when we switch it over, Virtus.pro, they were a little bit aggressive, but what their opposition presented yesterday, the former Heroic, was very different. It was very passive, and they've gone back to that now because they have to. Rops. Okay, he is still upstairs. When we switch between the mini-maps, it on the ramp is a bit confusing if we're seeing upper or lower get faded out, but it's upper that is the full. You can kind of see it when Adren steps back, when the top corner disappears. That's because it only shows us the lower hulls. Voxic, good recovery. Back into the site, drops the bomb as well. 34 seconds, it's near default. James got him back and has the advantage, and in fact, a hefty one because it's down to a 3-on-1, but Rops is still in a decent position. Smoke to his right will make things a bit more awkward, but remember, you can't push through to lobby unless you go through that smoke now. So unless there's a flank, which there is, he won't know that, but he's suspecting it. He does not have to look in that direction. It's Buster that's going to do it because he was the one that did so yesterday when they needed it. And Rops is trying to be passive and allow the plants. With 2 players on the site, noise made. Oh, good read. I was going to say that's Buster's time to strike, but Rops reads it. Brilliant as well because it didn't come from lobby. It was further to the right. Sanji's going to hold it all together. But that was a good effort from Rops.
That was a great effort by Rops. As you said, he read that completely. Had an idea that someone was going to flank, otherwise they wouldn't have taken so long to get the bomb down. That was beautiful done by Rops, and at the very least, couldn't win out the clutch, couldn't win the round, but he put on so much damage into the Virtus.pro economy that if they were to lose this round, that's going to be a round followed up by a anti-eco Glocks pistols and nothing else. Monies are not looking good for Virtus.pro, whereas for mousesports, despite losing, they can still afford a full buy here. We see the AWP for the first time in the game, not on Voxic, but actually on Frozen. That's interesting that he's opting to go for that one. Maybe Voxic is not feeling that Vertigo is a map where he can have a whole lot of impact with the AWP, at least not for now. It's been up to Frozen to do that. Voxic continues with the M4. He's also a strong rifle player, and that's one of the things about Voxic, that he's a very versatile player. He doesn't necessarily need the AWP to be effective. We see a few orbers out there that obviously are great with the gun in the hand, but as soon as they get forced into a rifle, then the impact they have.
JDM, I think, was the most accused of that.
See, I didn't want to say that because he was my teammate, but
no, that's a good point. But yeah, I'm not necessarily saying it's true or not, but I'm saying if you want to look at an example of someone who is certainly accused of it, JDM was the biggest.
Let me put it this way:
victim.
we spent a lot of time deathmatching together with the rifle, me and JDM. He was working on it, but he was well aware that his rifle skill wasn't always on par with how good he was with the AWP. So there's a few out there, and JDM definitely is a prime example of that. But it's good to see the players.
Daniels and money.
Yeah, well,
what? Oh, I can't remember what game that was. I just when he got the 4K, I think it was on Inferno. Give me the Jack Daniels and the money. I really wanted to take a picture of the after party with him holding some Jack Daniels and money because it just sort of been nice, but
yeah. Didn't pull it off?
Nah, I seldom pull things off. Chris J. Wow, that was a stray bullet. That one was as well, but take it through the smoke. Adren goes down, so does Sanji, caught by Frozen as he tries to retreat to the ramp. Bomb planted off to the left side. I actually prefer that plant, if I'm completely honest with you, because it's easier to see it from the ramp. Not quite as easy to hold it from the scaffolding, but that's not what they're attempting to do. Watch for a flank. You could see the ladder being in use. And it's Rops that's down there. Oh, he's okay. Done the damage. In fact, gets both. I was a bit concerned he whiffed on the first one. Still had the information, no less, and had the position, but I'll get the defuse, and it's 4-2.
I think we've seen this before from Virtus.pro. They are so good at approaching the rounds slowly, making sure you gain map control, get the bomb down, but as soon as it gets into a retake on this A bomb site, we saw Heroic time and time again yesterday. Just, dare I say, easily just retake the A bomb site. They couldn't really hold on to it. They didn't have a flanker, as you pointed out, in the vast majority of the rounds. They tried this today, and it worked out the first time around, but Rops read it and almost pulled off the round anyway.
I think that this is actually kind of what I expected to see more from Vertigo, is CTs pushing through B rather than rotating back and getting locked out by utility, because the smoke walls become so prevalent that you play the retake, which Heroic, granted, did so with good effect, but I think there's so much more available to the CTs.
I agree. It's definitely something you can play around with, but that's the fun thing about Vertigo right now. It constantly changes. As we see Jane push up here aggressively with the SG, catching off Frozen, but instantly gets taken down by Kerrigan. He's sitting in 13 HP, but still feels confident enough just to go in for that peek and destroy Jane. May seem like a little little silly thing to point out, but that's a confidence play, right? You wouldn't do that if you're not feeling the game. So does Chris J, takes down Kickert. All of a sudden, it's Buster again alone with a deagle. Not for long though. Rups takes him down and makes it 5-2 for mousesports. A strong start for them, surviving 4 players and building up quite a bank here as well. Whereas for Virtus.pro, well, we see them plant the bomb on 8 a few times. They won 1 round on it, but it was a 1-on-1 and Rups almost made that clutch happen. And apart from that, they only got a pistol round. That's it. Maybe it's time to switch focus. Maybe contest middle, maybe contest the B-bomb side and see what you can figure out over there. Yesterday they had great success boosting up a guy on the rafters where Boab didn't have any idea what to do to defend against that. So there's more in store for Virtus.pro. Question is, when are they going to pull it out? And is mousesports going to allow them to pull it out? Rups is playing very aggressive towards this area, finding the first one as well and getting back. That's 8-win going down, and there's no refrag coming in from Virtus.pro. We didn't see this from Boab yesterday from Heroic, but yeah, we are exactly what I talked about. James trying to find him, but Rups, he's a smart player. He's not giving anything away for free.
Buster holds the angle, drops down, and they've started to put more attention over toward B. Have Virtus.pro because they're aware that not only the flanks are working out, but A isn't. So let's try something a little bit different. Different indeed. Bomb. It's the last to arrive. Problem, which means James got a hold off the inside of the site. He's gone a little more aggressive toward the air conditioning units. Takes an aid for his troubles in position, but he still holds with an AWP, and that's plenty in this scenario. There's no more damage-dealing grenades left. The Molotov, rather incendiary, the last of which did land close enough to him, but oh, it actually did burn him. I take it back. Frozen did get him. I thought James would have plenty of time to get a smoke off on it, but went for the shot instead. The jump, always a risk. Sanji takes down Frozen. He made his way around, but 5-3. Virtus.pro pick up the rounds. Bomb plant again.
That's a great round, and as you said, they shifted focus towards the B-bomb side.
Did it finish yesterday, that half, with 100% bomb plant rating?
No, there was one round where...
Okay, so
yeah.
Okay, it wasn't quite 14 either, to be fair. It was something like 12 rounds, but
yeah,
more bomb plants yesterday for Virtus.pro than today, and that's, again, mousesports being more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, you saw Rups, that was a great example. He got the first pick, then obviously got traded down later in the round, but look how aggressive he's playing towards this B area. He's not giving them any map control. Once again, going for the duels. Falling back this time around, but it seems like Virtus.pro, they figured it out. They're not allowing him just to take this B control. They want to make sure that he's not allowed to control the B-bomb side all by himself. Putting an additional pressure towards this man right now, and it's a great adaptation from Virtus.pro, and we saw this yesterday. They're going to boost up on this side of the reeling. It's going to be Buster going up with Adrian. That caught off guard Boab yesterday so many times. Question is, has Rupp watched that demo and is he checking it out? And there we go. He's well aware that it's a possibility. That's the preparation coming in from mousesports. The coach as well, Regin, probably saw that yesterday and said to Rupp, you got to be aware of this. And then they figured out a way to deal with it. And that's, you know, again, preparation. It's also what classifies top teams and some of the good teams out there, that they are able to prepare and actually utilize the information they're getting. Use it for something good, and this time around, Rupp's got another entry duel towards the B-bomb side. That's 2 in a row. Really having an impact over there. Kerrigan left in a rough spot, though. He should be more than able to get out of here. Question is if he's going to stay, and it looks like it. Could be a rough one for Gideon.
Yeah, okay. Sanji found him. Figured out that he had to be in the smoke because the Molotov was completely behind the sandbags, but timer on that play either way. Kerrigan down. Recovered by Chris. He'll take the Krieg. They're aware of that. They saw him throw the weapon. Bomb down, though. He was able to turn it around and catch out Sanji. James caught from the same position. Kicker could trade, I suppose, but if it was a little bit sooner, James might still be alive and with us today. Kicker's going to save the AWP. That's not going to be easy, though. They're chasing him down. No bomb plant. If he goes down, it's no money and the loss of the op. Granted, he did have a little more money than everybody else on his team, it seems. He's about 500 back of Buster, but he's still not completely destroyed by that.
Nah, that's a rough one. That's a rough run for Virtus.pro. Once again, they find themselves in a position where they have no money in the bank. They can't really invest anything into this. It's going to be another Glock/Deagle. By coming in, Sanji is the only one affording, or at least investing into a Deagle. So it'll have to be him. Frozen with up. could get caught off guard here. That's a nade that failed, and there we go. He's in the open. Reads it perfectly fine, though. Gets a Molotov down, and that was super, super close for Virtus.pro to catch off a few of the mousesports players. Didn't really work out as we see Voxic progress all the way into T-spawn as well. I think you've said it already, Matt, but the aggression coming out from mousesports, they don't really give that much map control away. It's impressive to see. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now, and we didn't see that yesterday from Heroic, for an example. On Vertigo, there was a complete different approach. But mousesports ain't giving anything away here.
No, I agree with that. And they have gone aggressive. They're now playing a little more passive, so they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. Try to think of a better way to say that. Unfortunately, I've run out of ideas.
That's fine. Can't win every game.
Any game. Kerrigan. Whoa, okay. Buster. Fantastic shot. Chris does now step forward, but that was the play. Again, if they're going passive on A, they're luring them into the ramp, and Kerrigan goes down. We see the immediate push to keep them locked in that position, and the flank arrives. The timing is excellent. And now they've cleared ramp completely. The flank's gone up. Chris has made contact with his teammate, Voxic, and they'll work back down both sides, knowing that they're stuck on the catwalk and gone at that point in time.
Beautiful stuff by Christie, and just want to point out he's currently sitting at 14 frags, 10 rounds into the game, and we kind of highlighted him as, we didn't say he was the weakling, right? But we said that he was I did say that he was supposed to be the weakling of this lineup.
Okay, fair play. You got yourself out of that one.
No, but he's supposed to be the weakling of this lineup. That's how strong mousesports is. That's how I like to quantify a team. It's the same if you're looking towards Vitality, for an example. Or maybe Astralis is a better example. If Sypnix is supposed to be the weak link of Astralis, then how good is your team, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing here with mousesports. I feel that if Chris J is supposed to be the weakest link of this lineup, you can see exactly how good that lineup is. Because he has games where he just takes over and becomes that very star player-ish like playing Chris J that we like to see. And as you said, he's been through a lot as his career has been an AWP player. Then he was a rifle. Then he was kicked. Then he was a rifle again. Returned to the AWP and got kicked again. And now he finds himself in a team that can call themselves a top 3 team in the world. And I think that's quite impressive.
Virtus.pro are starting to look more and more hesitant. Caught in the tracks. You can see it there. Buster, being passive, was staring at the site, completely unaware that Rops had gone so far down onto the staircase at B, and
ouch.
This is when things start to become more problematic. You're right, that's a great nade. Because if you start to doubt your positions and you're not getting information, then you start to run out of ideas, and then you just get run over. So at least they pull this back on A. Good shots required. Bomb still on the ground, but nade to Voxic will certainly be felt. Lost half of his HP.
Have to be up to Voxic now to defend this bomb site. He's all by himself. He spots out the bomb planner, gets him down before the bomb goes down. That's a great kill by Voxic. Now that puts on a lot of pressure towards Jamie. He has to peek out and he gets punished for it straight away. And there we go. Voxic finds Kicker as well. And just as it was starting to look good for Virtus.pro, 3 against 2, almost got the bomb down. Voxic said no, and it fell apart quickly. And as you said, it feels to me like Virtus.pro ran out of ideas. The B bomb site is not working for them right now. Rups is playing one hell of a game over there. Constantly being aggressive, trying to find the kills. And as for the A bomb side, yeah, they can try to punish mousesports when they get a bit too aggressive, when Chris J is peeking out a bit too much, Kerrigan as well, but they can't seem to close the rounds. Despite them getting the bomb down or getting close to it, it's always going the way of mousesports right now, and that's reflecting in the scoreline as well, 8-3 for the German organization, the international squad of mousesports against Virtus.pro, who seem to struggle a bit on their own map pick. I think that's a fair point to raise as well, that they picked into this map. They were the ones saying the mousesports, we're going to play Vertigo.
I think mousesports, was it them that put out the tweet saying they've been the longest active Counter-Strike organization? I mean, SK would have been around longer, but they haven't been active the whole time.
Sure.
Complexity didn't come until a little bit later. I think mousesports might be our oldest Counter-Strike organization at this point in time. We need someone, I suppose, like Duncan to verify that, but he's busy these days, if you know what I mean.
I would what? I don't know what you mean.
I don't know what I mean either.
Okay.
Being a Yorkshireman. Chris J. Window position. on B. Can cover off both mid and the stairs. He's got Voxic now to cover off mid on his own. This is going to be a tempting battle. He's desperate to go around the corner and try and catch James, isn't he? Certainly hears him retreating, so it was safe to take another peek at it, but information no less, and Chris can support Rops in that swing. This is a good example of how B can be used so aggressively from the CTs. Needs to not whiff on the first few shots of the spray. He might have been good for 3 otherwise. Instead, though, they give away a Krieg, and Kickert uses his own to find 2 kills. Gap in the smoke, massive gap. They need to be very, very cautious of it. In fact, they changed where they plant as a result of it, but Voxic has read that, and Kerrigan as well, sneaking in the backside, has an AUG to work with. It's only James, 7 HP, and dead.
And dead.
Didn't even get inside of the window.
And dead. Glad we raised the point that Voxic is a great rifle player when not having the AVP in hand. We see the last 2 rounds how big of an impact he's had, denying the bomb climb here as well, and basically winning them the round by being so aggressive and so good with the rifle. So really finding a lot of impact, really showing us how good he is. We can see on your screen right here, the odds are swaying towards mousesports in a big, big way. Initially, it started out being relatively close. I believe they gave 1.70 left. Now it's down to 1.08. So heavy favorites considering the scoreline, heavy favorites considering how they're playing right now. Obviously, if you do believe in a Virtus.pro comeback, there's a lot of money to be acquired if you're lucky enough. But as I'm seeing the game right now, as I'm feeling it out right now, it seems like Virtus.pro ran out of ideas, and mousesports, they just began. The constant aggression towards the B bomb side. You saw Robs here, even though not getting the kills. As you said, he couldn't gotten a triple kill had he just been a little bit more cool in that situation. He got a lot of damage done, got 1 kill, and again, he denied Virtus.pro access to the B bomb side without fighting for it big time. So constantly putting pressure on the Kazakhstanian squad, and I'm not sure they like it. Not sure they like it at all.
So smoke still down. Kickert tries to see above it again, the constant boosting. There's 2 ways you can do that, obviously. We saw James use the other one yesterday. He was, I think, better yesterday on the T side when the teams were facing aggression. And the other one, obviously, is toward the back wall of the bottom of the ramp. You can see it there to the right side. You can boost up by the pallets and see above the smoke with an AWP or, well, any gun for that matter, but it seems to be the better spot for the op just because it's got a bit more range. But meanwhile, a nade. Sanji feels it the worst of all his teammates, having already taken a bit of damage prior. So they're softened up before they arrive on the site. Kerrigan, the only one that's taken any damage, significant no less, but any damage on the CT side. He'll have to be a little bit careful in his positioning. That's why he plays the box. It's not as penetrable. Very much going to have to spot both sides. Frozen doesn't quite have an angle to the front side of the crane. Wants to get flashed in. Knew he had to go aggressive. Down he goes. Smoke still limiting any access from Frozen. And this is where that lack of re-entrance from lobby, although it goes both ways, the Ts can't swing on the CTs holding towards CT, spawn nearly as well. CTs likewise can't push back through and retake the position, so they've got to go for a retake post-plant. That's a huge kill from Kicker because they wanted to get not only the planter, but immediately take away the post-plant situation. He is playing excellent. 4 kills for him in the round. Rops to find that he'll have an ace. Sanji's got 20 HP to support him. We saw Rops nearly clutch out a 1v3 earlier. This one almost easier statistically if you want to look at the HP that he's up against, or the positioning. Similar without the flank against him, but no easy task because they have smoke in place and it will be an ace. What a brilliant one. So important, and not only did he get the ace, he kept his teammates very much in contention by keeping that bomb in play.
Sure did. We saw it yesterday from Kicker. He took over the game against Heroic, completely destroyed them 3 rounds in a row, got 2 triple entry kills, and basically won them the game, which was a very close Vertigo game, and now we see him one more time with an ace against mousesports. As you said, not the same impact as yesterday, but he's keeping them in the game now. 9-4, it's still somewhat decent, you know, if they can win 1 more round or maybe 2, close the round, close the half, sorry, on 9-6, then I think that'll be okay for Virtus.pro. I think they can live with that, but it required Quicker to come up and do an ace, and now finally they find success over towards this B bomb side. Rups got a little bit ahead of himself, didn't really find the success he's done previously with the aggression onto reach the bomb side, and despite mousesports stringing 4 rounds together, the money wasn't looking that good, so we're actually seeing Cristiano just
failed on the body block.
Yeah.
Don't think it would have made that much of a difference at that point.
No, it really doesn't anymore. Like there was an update at some point where
you can't dead stop it in its tracks.
Yeah.
Like you were doing at the Mirage window frequently.
That was great. Especially when I was a bigger guy. Really.
Made it easier.
Yeah.
Imagine if in-game models translated.
You should. I think that's fair.
Pasha would just wreck everyone.
Or he'd be easier to hit.
Who would be? Maybe Elige would be really good then.
Yeah, I think so.
Who's got the best cardio though, you know?
Oh, that'd be me.
It's a lot of running. Maybe Mark Winther could be a player again.
Again, get another MVP on his belt.
Yeah, that's right. Frozen takes down a Dren. It's the first kill for the CTs in this round. Meanwhile, Kickert back at the A site was anchoring at that point because they were rotating back around. Kerrigan could hear them down below. That's certainly one aspect of having a vertical map. You can get noise cues from just about anywhere. Kerrigan, ooh, corner though. They know he's gone around the corner somewhere, and this gun sticking out. Sanji is easily able to take care of him and clear access to the site. Frozen not fast enough to catch the cross, and Buster still on the flank. The whole map in control of Virtus.pro in that round, and it's now 9-5.
Yeah, that was a great round by Virtus.pro, and they played it slow. They got the kill on towards Rups. Initiated the map control, as you said. As soon as he goes down, you can feel out the map. You can just play slow, and you can do whatever you want to, because Rups isn't going to be that pain in the ass he's been throughout the game on the B bomb side. So great stuff by Virtus.pro, and as I said, they are looking into closing this half in a somewhat decent manner. If they can win this one, that is going to be 3 in a row and put them on 6 rounds. It's not a bad half by any means. It's okay. It's competitive still. mousesports, they want to go for the aggressive towards A ramp. Kerrigan takes some damage, but Frozen is all the way down here. He could maybe surprise 1 or 2 of these Virtus.pro players. There's a flash from a teammate coming through the smoke. This could be dangerous. If it connects, we'll have to wait and see though. I think he's just going to walk down here. He's not going to find any success. Sanji is going to be there to get him. So is Kickert, and the aggression coming in from mousesports is not successful. That's going to put a lot on the shoulders of Rups here. Vox again. Chris J. See if they can bring this one back. Not looking like it though. Virtus.pro, I feel like they always just take it slow. You never see them explode, you know, after a kill. You never see them go fast. Just wait for the mistakes, and they capitalize off it. James with a nice shot towards Rups, and that's what I'm talking about. It's all up to Chris J now. He's getting a fire grenade on towards him as well, and he goes down, and there we go. It's just going to be up to Voxing to save the skin here. He's stuck towards A side, so safe to say Virtus.pro is going to finish this half with 6. Not necessarily bad, is it?
Not bad at all. Decent recovery considering how poor it looked at the start. Won the pistol and then was shut down immediately after by a flank from Voxic on this exact weapon, no less. But good turnaround and started to bring the B site back into it just as they needed to. What type of office do you... maybe I've said too much. It certainly is an office. These are not condominiums. You've got 4 elevators. What kind of office would this be? It's a new law firm, maybe?
Could be.
Buster's got Voxic. And round concludes as you suggested. We go 9-6. And again, this is Virtus.pro's map choice. They won it yesterday.
Sure did, and as you said, it's a great recovery. I feel they can be somewhat proud of this. It's not too bad. It was looking good for mousesports, but I think mousesports CT side was overall the better one here, of course. The constant aggression towards B with Rups. Not really giving in to what Virtus.pro were doing on the A bomb side, and whenever they got the bomb down, they seem to have the retake under control as well. So mousesports showed a lot of different faces in that CT side. Unfortunately for them, money didn't really go their way. A lot of the rounds were close, and Virtus.pro capitalized and managed to get 6. Now we need to see this pistol go the way of Virtus.pro, otherwise it's going to be rough. It's going to be mousesports quick succeeding in towards this A bomb side.
Sanji. Trying to show his teammate where to boost him, actually. And they tried to go above the red box, did Voxic. All they've done is actually signaled the alarms, and CT start to push that direction. They wanted to boost so they could see the ball. Perhaps they put too much time in it. Not at all. Chris comes back around the corner. Buster down. Great retake. I say retake. It was a post-plant retake because they actually left the site, vacated it, and then had to work back in when the defuse came through.
It's a bit interesting approach for sure, but they pulled it off, as you said, and another successful pistol round going the way of mousesports.
Just a note, there are some giveaways today in Twitch. All you got to do is !Maincast. You can do !Sadicist if you want to win me. But !Maincast, and the moderators will take care of that for you. Lots of stuff going on. You can click down below as well for the GG Bet panel underneath the stream screen. And head over there. There's lots of stuff for this event. Lots of codes you can take care of. So, yeah, we'll keep you entertained. Don't you worry. And you can be involved.
I wouldn't mind winning you. For how long?
You can just have me. You don't have to enter the contest.
Oh.
But only for about 30 seconds is usually.
30 seconds?
That's the standard, I think.
For who?
Well, it's me that's the consistent factor, I suppose, in that equation. So that should say enough.
I see. Just wanted to make that very clear.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
(10-6) for mousesports. They want to go in towards this A-bomb site, smokes it down, Molotovs him out of position. He'll have to force inside behind the smoke. He's only with a USP here, so can't really expect too much to go down here. As they're swarming towards the side, and there we go. I say that, and Sanji somehow finds Voxic through the smoke. Double tap. Kerrigan as well taking a lot of damage, but in the meantime got 3 kills through the smoke. That was somewhat impressive, a little bit lucky as well. Chris J looking to finish up the round. He does so fine, and there's only one player left, and that's going to be Buster. He's trying to get from behind here, but the best he can hope for is another kill, maybe steal away one of these Galils or an AK-47 and bring it into the next round, but realistically speaking, that's not going to happen. He's just going to hide down here. There we go, peeks out. Chris J is well aware, and he gets his 19th frag of the game. Manu on the screen right here had a hell of a first half, played hearts out and not looking to step that down on the T side. Great start for mousesports, winning the pistol, converting the second round, and now find himself up 11-6. It's quite a significant lead on a map like Vertigo. You can see the odds on your screen right here. They're still reflecting that as well. Mousesports are the heavy favorites to win this one. Still, if you believe in a Virtus.pro comeback, great odds on that one, 6.55. Maybe worth to put a bit on, but we'll have to see here. Mousesports way more aggressive towards this A area. They don't want to wait for Virtus.pro. They don't want to let them control the game. Kerrigan is calling its troops to take A control fast and successful doing so. Only taking a bit of damage to Voxic, but that's it. Traded that with Kicker, and I think mousesports are pretty happy with that. 20 seconds into the round, controlling the A area completely.
Good nades to the ramp, stacking them, but not quite landing where they'd hoped. Or at least on a target that they'd hoped to hit. I only saw about 2 people put an ! Sadicist, so. Well, I guess that's just the lay of the land, isn't it?
Kinda understand them, though.
Nah, I do too. So does Joe Miller.
Okay.
Frozen. He's going to work his way back around the ramp. Molotov to the sandbags. Standard place to clear. Kicker knows that. He's going to get up behind the crane. And off angle to hold those 45-degree footprints that hold, or rather anchors that hold that crane down, can give a bit of a headshot position, but they were not ready for the flank to come out from the scaffolding side. No one covering off Kicker's backside with the smokes in the position that they were. Bit of an oversight, perhaps. Did see a few oversights on the crossfires yesterday. Kerrigan will wait again toward the wall. Chris isn't going to leave the bomb, so that actually gives them a chance to trade off of each other and play information. Chris will watch the headshot position at red box. Trying to attack Kerrigan, but not before he found one, and that's exactly it. Chris can play off that information. He spots James to his left. I think he's aware of it. He's got to be very careful on how far he backs up and how far he does not. James goes combative instead, but 2-on-2. Chris is able to dance around it inadvertently, and then, nearly gets the angle, but James hits the shot. He's got to run at this point in time. And it'll be one player from either side surviving, but the round to Mouse, 12-6.
Yeah, there's a bit of a missed opportunity here for Virtus.pro. I think James a little bit too late coming into the fight, we know him to be a guy that likes to take his time and just wait for his opponents to make the mistake. And I'd say 9 out of 10 times that works fine for him too. But this time around, when you're retaking the A-bomb site, you got to be a bit more aggressive in your approach. Obviously, a little bit unlucky with not killing Chris J on the first shot. But even if he had connected that one, there was only 7 seconds left for him to defuse the bomb and find Frozen. So probably wouldn't have helped him out anyway. So sometimes, if you're James, you may want to, you know, add another layer to your game, and that maybe is to be a bit more aggressive, you know, and find a way to have impact earlier in the round, because you can't just sit back all the time and hope your teammates does it for you. Good thing about it, though, he brings in this AWP into the next round. Bad thing about it is he hasn't really had a great game. I think he's sitting at 8 frags so far. Hasn't really had a lot of impact as well, so it hasn't been a game for James. Hasn't been James time, so to speak, but hopefully find that now and start to find some impact if Virtus.pro want to stand a chance of making this comeback. As we see mousesports once again just powering their way in towards this A-bomb site. Kerrigan finds the opening towards Adrian. He's not going to stop though. Looking for more. Boxer gets the bomb down despite being taken down to 16 HP. Robs with a bit of a miss here, but shouldn't be a factor at all. Takes down Buster, and at this point it's only a question whether James gets to save the AWP or not. Bring it into the next round, and as I said, he needs to find impact with it. It's nice to have. It's like with, I don't know, with a house. It's nice to have a nice house, but if you never stay in it, then what's the point of it? You can have it all, but if you don't use it, then what is the point?
Exactly. Just sell it on the flea market if you're not going to use it.
The flea market?
It's a Tarkov reference.
Okay.
Any gun that you're scared to use, don't hold on to in your inventory. Just get rid of it. Okay. Sell those labs key cards. You can get more later.
Maybe I should try out that taco.
It's a sick taco. Try Chipotle as well. It's not bad.
I know. We
So,
usually get that for catering, you know.
oh, that's true. We've had the players get like a Chipotle lounge at events now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, us in the talent room, we're like picking at like 3-day-old bananas that have turned brown, trying to keep ourselves some sustenance.
That's fair enough. We're not players, you know. Oh, I have been, but
Yeah, no, I know that.
yeah.
Has been. That's typical.
Yeah.
So a bit of an aggressive push from Buster. We did see a hint of aggression, again, from James in this position yesterday. Sanji's going to try and nade back out toward the B site. Moxic, meanwhile, inside middle window. Now, this is where the lack of a door makes things difficult because you can't wrap in the backside of the B site. You've got to work all the way through CT and then combat everyone from A, so it's not like you can get a quick flank or split on the site.
Not really. Mousesports are taking another slow approach. They do have mid control though. Buster takes first kill on towards Kerrigan here. That's a great opening for Virtus.pro. It's about time as well. 13-6. They cannot afford to lose any more rounds. But look at this, Chris J just hammering his way up towards this A-bomb side. He knows that the rotation has come out from Virtus.pro. Adrian is here to defend him all by himself for now. Bomb goes down with no restrictions at all. Not even contested for it. Still 3 flashes on mousesports as well, so they can work with that. Robs is in a good position, sitting behind the sandbags. If he gets a team flash at a good timing, he could be able to do something. Unless he gets Molotov out, that's nice by Virtus.pro right there. Good team play, James. Finding impact as we asked him to do. Chris J as well. Frozen and Chris J combined for 3 frags, and all of a sudden it's starting to look good. It's up to Frozen now to finish it up, but he can't do it. It's going to be Virtus.pro with another successful retake on towards this A-bomb site. So, despite not having a kit, still going to work out for them. Plenty of time to defuse the bomb, and maybe that's the way to go for Virtus.pro. Just give them the A-bomb side and play the full retake.
Well, and they had a great sample of that yesterday thrown in their direction, so they should have a great idea of how it should work, nade stacks and all. So we'll see if that's something that they consider. 3 rounds only needed for mousesports. This is actually an identical situation to what Virtus.pro had yesterday. They were ahead, I think, something like 12-6, 12-7 in that vicinity, and met a heroic that was very stubborn and passive in their CT hold. So now it's their turn to replicate their opposition from yesterday. Aggression as always toward the ramp. Now this is the alternative boost that I was talking about. Okay, well they're not necessarily going to boost as of yet, but you can boost in this position, see above the smoke and get a little deeper toward the back of the ramp when you do it.
Aggressive approach here from 8 window. He's pushed all the way up, so he's busted towards the B bomb site. That duel, that was a 50-50. Took a lot of damage, gave a lot of damage. Chris down to 13 HP, mousesports. Not really sure where to go just yet. He thought that was going to be a good nade, but Kerrigan, he skipped that one, didn't take any damage at all. Took from the grenade though, and there he's coming in. Buster's ready and waiting for him. Read that completely fine, and despite Voxing having the mid control, mousesports can't really do anything with it right now. Virtus.pro spread out on the map, looking as strong as ever for the defense. Maybe Rups can flank around here and find a kill. I think that's what mousesports is hoping for right now. And there we go. Frozen with a kill as well. Rups in a good position right here. They don't expect him to be up here. 8-1 with the instant trade frag, but it's still 3 versus 3 now. It's an open round. Kill going the way of mousesports here could be it. Not likely to happen though. Kickert finds Frozen, and again it's left to Chris J and Voxic. 20 seconds left in the round as well. Maybe they just want to go for the save here, or Chris J, he's going to run towards the A bomb site, hoping there's going to be no one from Virtus.pro over there. Voxic, he'll have to help him out. Cut off the rotation. That's exactly what he's doing. Not able to find the kill though, but puts on a lot of pressure. I believe there's still a player on towards that A bomb site, so Chris J getting the bomb down doesn't seem likely, and that's it. Bomb goes down, but it's a 1 versus 3 now. 11 HP and Chris J.
Oh, he got the wall shot. James nearly got hit twice by Chris, who's hunting for it. AWP takes down Kickert. He could have gone with a pistol, but he was desperate to get the job done on the AWP. He hit 2 from 3 shots. Only one of them was a kill. Not everyone can land a kill shot, as Machine Gun Kelly will surely tell you.
I will.
I mean, he had a pretty horrible attempt at it, didn't he?
Guess you could say so.
I think most people would.
Sure. I'm not like most people though.
That's actually true. That might be the truest statement ever said in an esports broadcast.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I do.
Do you think I win an award for that?
Yes. You get a consolation prize.
I don't want that.
Participation medal. That's all Kerrigan gets from this round. He's already removed from it as Virtus.pro continue to build momentum. Buster's gone all the way to the catwalk to try and look down below. Use that metal grading to his advantage to see if anyone's peeking against it.
Starting to look good for Virtus.pro now. As you said, they're building up momentum 2 rounds in a row. Slowly but surely, if they can win this one without taking too many casualties, the bank will start to be somewhat decent as well. It's been some close rounds, so as of right now, the money's not looking good for Virtus.pro, but this is a great chance of establishing that economy. Mousesports only with Deagles and a scout on Rups. We know how good he can be with that, but it's not likely for them to win the round, and definitely not likely for them to do too much damage, but I feel like you say that and then quite opposite thing happens here. Buster peeks out, gets 1 kill, not able to connect the second one, runs out of bullet, takes the fight though towards Frozen, and that's going to be his 3rd kill of the round, and that should be it. There should be no way the mousesports can find a way into this round. Jamie's here to back him up as well. We know how good Jamie is at that. There we go, another kill for him, and then it's going to be left up to Voxic. He finds 1 kill towards Buster though. Another one would put a bit of pressure on the economy for Virtus.pro, but it'll have to be it. And there we go, another kill comes in from Voxic. That's nice, and I hate to say it, but a bit of a missed opportunity here for Virtus.pro. Obviously, they win the round, they survive. 3 players as well, but you want to make sure that you survive as many guys as possible so you can build up a bank. It is so, so important. So we take a look at the scoreboard here as well. 8-win not having the game of his life. He's sitting at 6 frags right now, 19 death. We did talk about him coming into the game as a player that used to be one of the best in the world. I think many would rate him as a top 10, maybe even a top 5 player at a certain point in his career, but it seems like a long time ago, and he's finding himself in another role within this Virtus.pro lineup.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Remember, he was the MVP of Krakow when they won the major. He was a member of the Gambit team along with Zeus, Mo, Hobbit, And never forget our God, Lord and Savior Doja.
It's crazy to think they've won a major.
Remarkable run. It's crazy to think that certain members have fallen off. You certainly bring a Dren to light. He's an older player. He's almost 30, I think, at this point in time. There is a fall off. We've determined that is absolutely true. Oh, Kerrigan, that's such a perfect lineup. Sanji's got the shot back in reverse, but Hobbit is someone that I expected to persevere and actually find form on another team. He never really has. James will get Rops. That's the signaling of the end because Voxic cannot get back into the round. Bomb detonates. And it's going to be mousesports picking up 14. James, at this point, it's starting to look like the meme, but saves the AWP. The difference is on Vertigo, it's not like he's running away early in the rounds. He is still trying to get the shots in. He's just not getting them in time.
No, and he's not finding any impact at all. I mean, it is a tough map to play the AWP, especially when you have to play retake on towards A-bomb side. It's never easy. It's always tough, but I mean, a guy like Voxic, for an example, or a more aggressive style of AWP would be better suited for that. Whereas for James, he often gets caught off guard behind the smokes, and that's it.
Yeah, there's certainly been a lot of change in the operal over the years in terms of what's relevant, whether it's guys like Fallen and probably who else comes to mind? A on overpass being a lot more,
Sure.
and then JW back in the day that used to jump and run everywhere. Guardian was like that for a while.
But there's been one constant in the AWP game throughout all those years.
And who's that?
Device.
To be fair, yeah, I had a feeling you were going to say that, but it's not like he's been on the AWP for all of those years. Because remember, Cajun B and Kerrigan were more prominent on the weapon for a period of time when it was still TSM. I know it's been 3 years now, so yes, it has been a decent amount of time, but he's done it post-op nerf as well and risen to form. A lot of the oppers fell off in 2015 when that was changed. I think it was March of 2015, if I'm not mistaken.
Somewhat along those lines, for sure, yeah. I think that's what's so impressive about it, the fact that he's been able to be consistent in that role for so long. Because if you look towards the other AWP players, right, Fallen, Guardian, Kenny for that matter.
Kenny has definitely been around and been serviceable, but he hasn't had the form. You're right.
Exactly.
He hasn't always been at the top. Oh, Buster was at the top of the stairs. He's now on the ground at Catwalk. Sanji's going to cover off behind the smoke, same angle that James holding, except he's a little further left, so he'll see them immediately on entry and can battle up close a little more effectively. Meanwhile, mousesports have other ideas. They don't want to push that smoke. They don't have much of an economy built up, so there is consequences for that, and it would be essentially a 14-11 game if they lost this, whereas if they win this, they could actually walk away with the first map because there's likewise not much money on the VP side.
Definitely right about that. It's one of those rounds we call a key round, and it doesn't seem like VP has quite a clear idea of what's going to happen here. mousesports, they want to charge in towards this A-bomb side after faking the presence on the B-bomb side, and there's going to be nobody to stop them. So Virtus.pro, once again, they want to play the retake game, and I don't blame them for it, but we need to see it be successful. That right there, that's a nice kill. Gets the bomb down. James finds Chris J as well, and it's starting to look very good for Virtus.pro. Rups entering back on Kickert, but bomb still hasn't been planted. 13 seconds left. That's going to put one of the mousesports players on towards side. Maybe James can find it through the boxes here. Not able to. Rups finds picks on towards Sanji, and James, that's a nice flick with the deagle. That was so important as well. Not able to get Rups, and it's 1v1 all of a sudden. Rups does it with the finesse. That's a 4 kill from Rups, and they should never, ever have won this round. That was beautiful stuff by Rups right there.
You give Rups enough chances, he's eventually going to win a clutch.
But that's a finesse, right?
You're absolutely right. James had the lineup, couldn't get the shot. I thought it would be a follow-up shot. His teammate was in the exact same position, but patience prevails on that from us. You can't spray that thing that effect. Well, I certainly can't, but it seems to be a better... I want to say a better gun in bursts, but not on burst mode.
Exactly. That right there, that was insane by Rups. I don't think people would appreciate that enough, not knowing how hard it is to control a finesse in a situation like that. And as you said, the money is not looking good on towards Virtus.pro. I think mousesports is well aware, and look at this. Kerrigan just charging up towards his A-bomb side. Want to finish the game straight away. Not able to find a player here, and there we go. Turns around, finds one, finds two, and that's about it. 5 versus 3 now. mousesports, they're going to pick up this game. They're going to pick up the map pick off Virtus.pro. Bomb goes down. Kerrigan is nowhere to be stopped. Frozen gets James, and that's going to leave it up to Buster, who goes down to Frozen as well. mousesports winning 16-9. Virtus.pro had a fight in it. They tried to claim their way back into it, but mousesports simply too strong.
Yeah, too strong indeed. Speaking of strong dudes in similar colored jerseys, that's the other mousesports lineup in the background. But no, that's a solid start for the day for mousesports, and it's Virtus.pro's map choice. I said this yesterday. Teams can be misled right now, I think, on Vertigo because you win one game and your confidence goes sky high. You think, geez, we're pretty good at that map.
Sure.
But not everyone's played it enough to really have a pecking order established. Certainly not in these sort of lower teams. Well, I say lower teams. Mousesport's certainly not a lower tier team, but the teams that we don't see all the time, I should say, and that is the case for Virtus.pro. So I think that, yeah, it's a tough one to have as your map pick. It can be very misleading in the series.
I would definitely agree. It was good to see them fight back into the game. They made it somewhat competitive. It bounced well for the second map, but I agree with you. Vertigo was a gamble going up against mousesports. We've seen them play it against some of the top teams in the world. I remember them picking it against Liquid in a best of 3, so they definitely feel confident on it. That being said, though, I think we'll be going to a short break. After that, there'll be an interview with Chris J, the man himself who had such a strong game here on Overpass.